Now it's time to put your blade to work.
So the game is really at its core a platform action game, and so the core pieces of that are the exploration, the puzzle solving, the platforming, and of course the combat action. The combat action was something that in the first game a lot of people kind of knocked because it was relatively flat. It was more of like a hack and slash type of presentation. This time around we've actually included a much more kind of puzzle solving element with each new NPC that you meet. So as you travel through the game, you get your weapons, you upgrade your weapons, and then you encounter these NPCs. You're going to find that a certain combination and a certain pattern to fighting each individual NPC is going to be more efficient, more effective than say just hack and slash. So we've certainly upgraded that aspect of the game, but again, try to keep that core tenet of the platform action. We've added in some really cool abilities for her, like a shrink mode where she can see things that are hidden in the level, and of course use that smaller version of herself to navigate in interesting ways. I mean, and again, there's this whole idea of a domain-specific ability. So that means, in one section of the game that we've taken the concept of off with her head and literally taken Alice's head off, and you see her rolling around in the levels as just a head. Sort of Marble Madness presentation. We may present gameplay in a 2D aspect, or as you're seeing in the demos today, we may have a version of Alice where she's eaten some cake and grown to be really big, and so she's stomping around the level. So we kind of want gameplay to be sublime, to kind of get out of the way of the story that we're trying to tell and the environments that we're trying to present. Well, the first game is basically revolving around a young girl, Alice, who her family dies in a fire, and that ends her up in an asylum where she's dealing with the emotional fallout related to that tragic event. The second game picks up as a natural narrative sequel to that, so we find Alice now in London, but still dealing with the repercussions of that tragic event. But in this case, instead of trying to piece her sanity back together, she's actually trying to piece her memories back together. So the gameplay is really a murder mystery where we see her interacting with characters in London, which is something new that we didn't have in the first game, but also, of course, going into Wonderland and using that once again as a tool to put those memories together, to put those interactions together, and to try to solve the mystery of exactly what happened that night when her family died. One of the things that we've always tried to do is make sure that whatever it is we're presenting, it's true to her as a character. And for instance, like, we wouldn't present something in Wonderland that we hadn't seen or felt that she could have experienced in her own life. That doesn't mean we can't be completely surreal about it. You can't mix a cow and a bird together, but our rule was that she had to have seen a cow and a bird at some point in her life, and then we can mix those together and make them really fantastic and crazy. We're using the Unreal 3 engine and push it into places in terms of presentation of art style and gameplay that a lot of games, because of their limitation of being in the real world, cannot do. The Chinese are embracing Western culture in a way that is unseen in the rest of the world right now. You have Western movies, music, production style. It's an amazing place to make games, actually. And we've had the opportunity to wrap some of the Eastern mysticism into Wonderland. We've actually figured out a way to bring an Oriental domain into Wonderland, something that we feel that she was exposed to, via the East India Trading Company, and the fact that she lives in London and there's news of China going on around her. So we've actually been able to give the team there in China, those locals, an opportunity to put some of their culture into the game in a way that actually makes sense for the product. For me, this project is really a dream project because we get to push the envelope so far. So Alice Madness Returns is going to hit the shelves on June 14th for PC, PS3, and 360.
Now, focus. Where are you?
I'm trapped in my past.
Come now, Alice. It's only a dream.
It's not a dream, it's a memory. Oh, my Wonderland's shattered.